What's going on, guys? I'm Chris from Fight Frequency, and welcome to the Fight Room. In this episode, we're going to cover Muay Thai legends, Saenchai and Petchboonchu. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. So in this initial scene, they're doing their ceremonial dance to honor Muay Thai, to honor their gym, to honor their coaches. So in round number one, you have Saenchai in the blue and Petch in the red. Now, what you can look for from Saenchai is the fact that he is good in all areas. In Muay Thai fighting archetypes, they would call him a Muay Femur. So Muay Femurs are good at everything, essentially. They're good at all their weapons. They know how to use all ranges. Now, if we look at Petch's style, we're going to see him looking for the clench a lot in the later rounds. And he's going to look to throw knees and elbows when he's in the clench, specifically knees. Now, in the Muay Thai fighting archetype, you would classify Petch as a Muay Khao fighter. So Khao in Muay Thai is knee, so he is a knee specialist. Now, in this first round, they're really just filling each other out. This is an opportunity to let people make bets, to fill the opponents out, and really just get a slow start. A lot of Thai fighters start out at a slower pace and they start to build up as the rounds progress. Now in this fight, we have 5 rounds in Muay Thai professional bouts. So 5 rounds, each are 3 minutes long. So in this initial round, I want you to just pay attention to the way that they're standing. Pay attention to their stance. Now, it's important that we identify, who's a southpaw fighter, who's an orthodox fighter, and why they're using the stance that they're using. So in Muay Thai, you're going to be typically squared up. So you're going to have this traditional stance where your center line's exposed. That means the center line of your body is exposed, and your hips are facing towards your opponent. That way, all of your weapons are geared toward this one target, and you could block appropriately when shots are coming at you. They're looking for reactions right now. So notice them looking for reactions. They're feinting. They're using their footwork. Mostly on Saenchai's part, he could switch in between like this bounce, almost like a taekwondo hop. That was a very nice sweep, and a traditional Muay Thai march. So going from left to right, it's a nice little dance right there from Saenchai. So round 2, you're going to start seeing more of a clench game come out of Petch. Saenchai is just probing that jab right now. So one thing about Muay Femurs, like guys who are good at doing everything, they're really good at counters as well. So when you have somebody opening up and they're throwing strikes and trying to get strikes off, you will often have that person who's opening up getting countered by a Muay Femur. So Saenchai is really good at countering people coming in. Now, if you notice, Petch is not opening up that much. It's a really good tactic for him to use, knowing that Saenchai is a Muay Femur type of fighter and that he likes people to open in and chase him so he can counter appropriately. So notice, Petch is just staying patient, staying calm, looking for the clench. And this is where a lot of the clenching starts to unfold. So you can see them keeping good distance right here. Nobody's moving in too quickly. So Saenchai is looking to get that body lock, but they can't really do much once Saenchai gets there. So the ref is going to separate them. Within Muay Thai and the clench fighting game, you will see practitioners fight within that close range zone for a long period of time. If somebody is allowed to or able to get elbows off and knees off or sweeps, the ref is going to let them continue that action. These fighters are legendary fighters. They're both they're both people you should be paying attention to within the realm of Muay Thai. Specifically, if you're looking to have a really good clinch game, Petch is a person that you want to study thoroughly within the clinch. Saenchai, he's good at, again, everything, and he's somebody who is super evasive, good with footwork. He can be offensive, he can be defensive. He doesn't always move forward, doesn't always move back. He knows how to work the ring and really set traps a lot within the realms of his footwork. But the thing about that is that round 3, Petch is not opening up too much. You're going to see him start to move in more aggressively, but it's within the clench. So within this clench, he's going to start wrapping hands, hand fighting, and he's going to look to break posture. So he's going to look to either pull Saenchai forward a little bit or back. So he can break posture and start to strike from there. Whenever he's in this clench, you're going to see his arms always working to do something to nullify Saenchai's tools. So he's going to wrap up the arm so elbows can't come in at his face or dirty boxing. He's going to make sure that these tools are negated for the most part. So watch the hand fight. It's very important that we pay attention to what's going on up here. Saenchai is using a cross-face frame right there. They square back up. So one thing I also want you to notice is when their hips come together, they're in a parallel stance. They're mirroring each other. So right here, look at their hips. Hips are super, super tight, almost connected to each other. They're not going to be away because the knees could come up the center line. They're going to be pressed up, and then their feet are on a straight line. So they're not in the staggered stance here. Their feet are on a straight line, getting ready to move, getting ready to strike. That's one of the things that changes when you are in close range position. Your stance changes from that staggered neutral stance to, boom, a squared stance. Notice all the different knees that are coming in. You have knees that are going to the legs, knees that are going to the body. The ref is going to separate them. Now watch as the forward movement of Petch is just going to penetrate through Saenchai's guard. He's going to come through every single time and wrap up those arms and start to clinch fight. He's looking to drown you in knees. So once he starts winning that hand battle, he's going to tie you up and then start launching knee attacks. And again, notice the different angles of the knees that are coming in. You have knees that are going in front of the thighs, right above the kneecaps. You have knees that are going inside of the legs towards your adductor areas, and then knees that are coming to the outside of the legs. So those two knees were just to the body there. So notice the variation of knees, how technical these knees are, coming from all different angles. It's not just one spot every single time. They're coming from all angles. When I first watched this fight, I'm like, man, that was kind of boring. Like, I didn't really appreciate it too much for what it was. And the reason was that I didn't really understand clinch too much, and I didn't look into that close range like a few years ago. And this passing year and a half, I really started dialing it down a little bit more, and it's a whole nother level, you understanding close range. And specifically Petch, what he's doing to a legendary world champion, it's incredible. I mean, he just shuts down most of his attacks immediately. And the thing is, it's not too fancy for his clinch setups. Really what he's doing is using his arms, tucking his chin down, and he's coming in. He might come in with a tie hop, but most of the time he's coming in here and looking to wrap up arms and start controlling that head. Remember, in Muay Thai, when somebody gets swept or taken down to the mat, the ref is going to stand them right back up. So there's no ground and pound, there's no submissions or anything like that, like there is in MMA or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So right when something goes to the ground, they're going to stand them right back up. The beautiful thing about Muay Thai is that you can work all ranges thoroughly. So the ref is going to let you fight in all ranges, long, mid, close. This fight is a dedicated form of close range. It's a beautiful sight to see if you want to get good at clenching and understanding what it takes to truly work your stuff and shut somebody else down at an elite level. This is very, very important. So again, let's go over what he's doing. He's looking for the head. He's looking to wrap arms. He's trying to break down posture. You can see him continually grabbing the head. And then from there, when we have the hand fight, we won the hand fight, we're breaking posture, we're looking to knee, we're looking to sweep. Notice how he's always trying to collapse that. We're gonna go back here. Back. Sorry, my internet's running a little bit slow right here. Look at this. This is a knee shield. This knee is coming up across his hips, right? Or his legs. And this is going to take away Saenchai's kneeing ability. Very, very important. It's going to take away most of his sweeps that he can do from here. And what he's doing is pulling on his head and pulling on this arm to break posture and to keep him here. It's kind of a position that you want to be in when you're looking to be more defensive. You're going to hold this knee right across the waist like a seatbelt position, break posture, hold the arm. Notice how forward he is. He's just moving right through the ref's arms, trying to close that distance as much as possible, excuse me. One of the things with Muay Femurs is that they like to keep the fight technical. They like to have a lot of range to work their stuff. Well, one way to shut down a Muay Femur is by being super aggressive and by pushing the pace, closing the distance into that clench range, like what you see Petch doing right here. And you can see Saenchai throw an elbow, but it doesn't really affect Petch too much because he's constantly moving forward, closing that distance. It's very, very difficult to throw any type of strikes without good distance here. So Petch is closing off all the doors except for knees, really. So you see him wrapping up those arms again, and he's going back to work with the knees. So this is round number 5. I want you to notice something here. We're going to rewind this. Notice where these teeps are going to. He just went from hit, other hit, hit, hit. So he's throwing these front kicks at different targets. It's not going to be the center line of his body every single time. It's going to be at the legs, at the hips, at the body. So he's mixing up where he's throwing those teeps to. Again, notice that knee shield, that knee block coming around that waist to stop Saenchai's knees, to nullify the incoming attacks. Notice what Petch is doing. It's not much. He's keeping Saenchai back with those front kicks, with those teeps. He's throwing basic strikes, but he's not opening up too much. He's not doing flurries of punches. He doesn't want to get into this brawling exchange with Saenchai. He wants to wrap him up whenever there's an exchange going on and hold him there. So Petch is doing 2 things with this clench. He is doing it in a proactive way where he's coming in and marching Saenchai down, wrapping him up in a proactive clench. And he's also doing it within a reactive clench where Saenchai is coming in and then he wraps him up just like that. He's coming in with flurries of punches, boom, wraps him up right away as a defensive means to stop the punches. Again, wraps him up right away. Whenever he feels those shots coming in, boom, he's looking to clinch. Notice Saenchai right there. I'm going to rewind this. He's kind of getting a little frustrated. So you look at his hands, he's like, come on, dude, let's fight. He wants Petch to open up more. It's just so frustrating because he's not opening up too much until he gets in that clinch. Once he gets in the clinch, he's ready to work. He's ready to fire off his knees. But he knows that Saenchai is dominant from these long to mid ranges, so he's not exchanging with him in those long to mid ranges as much as Saenchai would like him to open up and exchange. So what's awesome about this fight is that you could see one range that the fighter was dominant in and dominated that range to take the fight. So that concludes this fight analysis, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like the page and like this video. It really helps the channel grow. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you want to see any fight breakdowns in the future. Have a great day.